Hey everybody! I have some great stories for you today, so sit back, relax, and let's get into it. I, female, 23, and my husband, male, 24, welcomed our baby boy in September of last year. We moved from his hometown to mine in January in hopes of saving up to buy a house. We moved in with my mum, 50, something she very enthusiastically agreed to. Throughout our few months, she's been a little weird. She's constantly checking to see if he has teeth, pushing for us to stop feeding him milk, and tries to give him really complicated food like candied yams. Her defense is, I did it with you and you survived. Most recently, she was holding him and playfully asked him if he wanted water, to which I responded, Do not give him water, Mum. She proceeds to give it to him and goes, See, he's fine. He isn't dead. I immediately took my child from her and informed her that she will no longer be watching the baby alone, since she is constantly overstepping my boundaries and doing everything I ask her not to do. She isn't talking to me now and told me I made her feel like a bad parent and grandparent. Am I the jerk? Is there something I should be doing to make her talk to me, to add, I pay half the mortgage, utilities, and buy my own food to cook with. I don't rely on her for childcare. Just want to clear that up since I'm seeing a few comments about it. Now for an update. Wow, I did not realize how divided the internet was on parenting. And I'm seeing this on blogs. That's insane to me as I'm from a pretty small town. First off, obviously, information is somewhat off and every aspect of my situation isn't posted here, so advice is being taken with a grain of salt. Secondly, everyone had fair points. Some had good advice, others had perspectives I never thought about. With that being said, my mum and I had a conversation last night. She started off defensive, telling me I was showing her that her tricks and advice weren't right. I showed her some articles and voiced my concerns. I let her know that I'm not telling her she did a bad job raising us, but times and rules have changed. Someone pointed out that car seats weren't big back then, and now it's the law to have your child in one. After a 30-minute conversation, we got to the root of the problem. She feels like she did a bad job raising her kids. I assured her she didn't, and that I respect and appreciate everything she was able to do for us growing up. But it's my turn to raise the child and her turn to relax and enjoy the perks of having grown children and grandkids now. So all is well. She knows I wasn't mad about the water, just that it felt like she did it to prove a point. Side note, I love my mum and I would never just jump to banning her from enjoying her first grandson. She's my world after my husband and son, and once again, I love her dearly. Look, I get it. Living with family is hard, especially when you're trying to navigate new parenthood. But here's the thing. Your mum is out of line, period. You're the parent, you set the rules for your child. It's not about survival tactics from the good old days. It's about what's safe and recommended now. Her giving your baby water against your wishes isn't just about defying you. It's about undermining your authority as a parent, and her feeling like a bad parent. That's on her, not you. You've done what you need to protect your child. It's great you're trying to mend fences, but don't twist yourself into knots trying to make her feel better. She crossed a line. You're standing your ground. End of story. All right, guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video. Or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. To add, we already did a brain scan MRI and nothing was found. Okay, so my husband has been dealing with some major issues. We have not yet figured out what it is, but he has been dealing with certain delusions. For example, it all started 6 months ago when he was convinced he had caught me cheating because he found a document saying so on my laptop. When I arrived home and he tried looking for it to show me, he obviously couldn't find it. He is going to therapy, but as of right now, we are technically separated and living in different rooms. It's just because this keeps happening. A certain insecurity eats itself into my husband, and he becomes convinced that it's the truth. He either dreams proof, or he just convinces himself that anything is proof. I don't know what he does with the therapist, but I honestly don't see it getting better. Last week he was mad at our daughter, 15, because she didn't want him to drive her to prom and make pictures with her. When I went to ask her, she said that that was not true. She had talked to her dad about what she would like to do when she graduates in 2 years. Her father just got really mad at the perceived slight. The problem is that he keeps talking to people about the issues. I was already wondering why so many mutuals stopped responding to me, but apparently they all think I am an awful human being and a terrible spouse. I just want to tell people what is going on. Also so they are aware that my husband is basically lying to them, and for them to tell me delusions that he might be having that, I don't know. But at the very beginning of his therapy, he begged me not to tell anyone because people would think he is crazy. My sister said that it would also be a jerk thing to do that would basically feed into his delusions. I just feel like I am done. Am I the jerk? Look, this is a tough spot. You're dealing with something that's way above Reddit's pay grade, but let's break it down. Your husband is clearly struggling with some serious mental health issues, and that's not something to take lightly. However, living in a constant state of accusation and mistrust is no way to live. It's not fair to you, your daughter, or even him. Keeping his condition a secret to protect his image, while noble, is doing more harm than good. It's isolating you and potentially endangering your relationships with others, including your daughter. It's not about airing dirty laundry, it's about seeking support and understanding from those around you. You're in a bind, but silence isn't the solution. It's time to have some hard conversations with or without his approval. Your mental and emotional well-being matters too. Alright guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video, or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. My girlfriend has problems with glass. She is clumsy, always has been, and has broken many others before now. I would not mind, but she is also not good at cleaning the shards. This past week alone, she has dropped 3 glasses, 1 jar, 2 bowls, a coffee cup, and busted a plate by leaving it on the stovetop while the oven was preheating, despite being warned many times before that items should not be on the burners when the oven is heating because the conduction carries through. She's been stressed out at work, so I kind of attribute a lot of it to that. I can't even really say which glass objects have injured me specifically each time, just that I have been limping for a week because I stepped on a big shard that went into my foot, and some smaller ones went into my foot as well, plus some in my palms because I missed them when I kneeled to pull the ones that were in my foot. I have stepped on or pressed my hand into glass 4 times this week. Tonight, when she asked for a soda, I poured it into a plastic cup instead of a glass one, like she prefers, and said she couldn't use my glasses, and she pitched a fit. I can't phrase it differently. She progressively got angrier at me for bringing up the other broken glasses because they were just accidents, and I shouldn't punish her, especially because I started mentioning others before this week. But even so, I am sick of going through gauze and tape. She insists I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, and I should clean it up myself to my specifications because she does her best. Now for an update. I apologized for how I did things that night because the conversation surrounding the glass thing had been ongoing, and me just giving her the cup was rude and shutting things down. So we're talking again more about things and how to handle it. She promised to tell me now every time she breaks something, even if she thinks she got it all, so I don't get any surprises. She doesn't think she needs to go to the extreme of getting an exam or anything because it's not as bad normally, so this is just a bad spell and not indicative of how she usually is. So getting tested based on this is needless. I ended up needing to go to the urgent care, and there was still glass apparently in a few of the cuts on my feet. Guess she isn't the only one bad at cleaning glass. Feet are doing better, got some antibiotics for the infection, and now I'm writing slowly because of the palm ones. My girlfriend has been super apologetic ever since I got back and told her what they said, and said she didn't realise how much it hurt me, so I should have been more clear about that instead of making her feel like I was just upset about her breaking stuff. Which is fair, I guess. She's being super careful with glass right now and said maybe we can go to Target because she found a set she wants to buy and go to the movies together and dinner. Make it a fun thing instead of making her feel bad and all. Look, I get it. Stress can make us all a bit clumsy, but this is beyond that. You're literally getting injured because of her carelessness. It's not about the broken glass anymore, it's about your safety. And her reaction, getting mad at you for trying to protect yourself, that's not okay. Sure, apologising is a step in the right direction, but it doesn't magically remove shards from your feet, does it? And her promising to tell you when she breaks something, great, but it doesn't solve the root problem. You're not her parent. You shouldn't have to baby-proof your house for an adult. Her being super careful now doesn't erase the past incidents or the fact that you had to go to urgent care. It's good she's apologetic, but actions speak louder than words. She needs to show you she can change, not just make empty promises. And you need to stop minimizing this. It's not just about broken glass. It's about respect and safety in your relationship. All right, guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video, or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. I, a 17-year-old male, have a strained relationship with my 35-year-old mother after an incident that happened about 6 years ago. My mother was super strict and a helicopter parent, so we fought a lot over my grades and the trouble I got into at school. She had essentially abandoned me, signing over custody to my dad after I had told her something along the lines of "I hate you" and "I wish I lived with Dad." Typical things an angsty preteen says to their parent. But that fight seemed to have broken her, and she cried before dropping me off at my dad's apartment. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal and I would just see her the next day after she proved her point, but she left me there. After that, things got essentially worse for me. My grades dropped, and I kept getting into trouble at school, almost to the point where I was kicked out. My dad never had job security, so money was tight. His girlfriend also wasn't fond of me, saying I was dumped on them. I wanted to go back to live with my mum. I thought to apologise, but my mum had essentially moved on with her life. She went back to college to get her degree and was always studying, and later on was focused on her new work. On the weekends I would get to see her. Things were tense between us. She tried so hard to be the fun parent, eating takeout and leaving me to do what I wanted. But it was so unlike her, and we became more estranged. 3 years ago she started dating Paul, a 39-year-old widower with 2 daughters, ages 9 and 13. She started treating his daughters like they were her own, and they started calling her Mummy, which irritated me. Eventually they moved into my mum's house and changed my childhood bedroom into one of the daughters' rooms. I was livid when I found out, said some mean things about the girls, and refused to go back there for my mum's weekends, but she was confused about why I was acting this way. Because of this fight, she thought I wouldn't be attending the engagement party when she announced she and Paul would be getting married. Besides, she didn't want me there to ruin the perfect picture of her new family, so I made it a point to go to the party and called her out on her behaviour. I wanted to confront her and tell her she wouldn't have to bother with me after I go off to college, but I may have taken it a tad too far. Everyone kept talking about how Paul's daughters were like her children and how it would be when she had more kids, and it snapped something in me. I called her a horrible parent and told her she was trying to replace me with the little brats. after she had abandoned me, along with some other insults I don't really remember. Paul kicked me and my dad out, saying I was a jerk for making his fiancée and girls cry and ruining the engagement party. He said I won't be allowed to the wedding unless I called and apologised. I may have taken it a bit too far, but my dad agrees. She had it coming after abandoning a young child at an age when I needed my mother. So am I the jerk? And should I apologise? Look, I get it. You're hurt. Your mum's actions 6 years ago left a scar, and it's clear you're still grappling with feelings of abandonment and replacement. But let's be real. Exploding at an engagement party and hurling insults, that's not the way to handle this. You're 17, not 7. It's time to start dealing with your emotions like an adult. Yes, your mum made a huge mistake by walking away, and it's understandable that seeing her play happy families with someone else's kids stings. But lashing out, especially in such a public and hurtful way, isn't going to fix your relationship or heal your wounds. It's only going to drive a deeper wedge between you and your mum. You both have a lot to work through, but it starts with communication, not confrontation. And yes, apologies are due from both sides. All right, guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video, or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. This is such a stupid fight, honestly, but Reddit, do your thing. So, some backstory. During my undergraduate years, my parents paid for my grocery bills because they really, rightfully so, believed that good food is important to a student's health. They never set a monthly limit to how much I could spend, but I was really frugal and never went over a $200 limit I imposed on myself. Now I'm back in graduate school for my master's, and my parents are covering again. I know I'm an adult with a few years of work under my belt now, but not having to worry about groceries lets me chip at rent and loans and other bills without losing sleep. I'm back on my extremely frugal way of eating and meal planning, because I'm still not going to take advantage of my parents' generosity. My boyfriend, however, basically inhales all my food every time he's over, like eating all my snacks and legit every frozen meal, all the meat. One time he even ate the other half of a cheese I had already bitten into, etc. So he's basically wolfing down my dinner and lunch. It's forced me to open my own wallet to accommodate him, because I'm not going to send my parents a suddenly huge grocery bill, and he's seriously messing up my finances. I plan basically down to the dollar. We got into arguments, and his side is basically that my parents are going to cover anyway, so I need to stop spending my own money and not worry so much. And when I go over to his house, I eat his food too, but I don't eat as much as he does. My arguments are, just because my parents are covering doesn't mean he can eat anything he wants. He legit eats my whole fridge. I'm not even joking. The only thing he leaves are the vegetables. And he could eat less? When we go out, he often has leftovers, so why eat everything at my place? I've banned him from cooking and using the raw ingredients at my place, and I'm only giving him my small stash of snacks when he comes over, and after the third time, he's not talking to me. Honestly, this is such a stupid fight, but if I am the jerk, then I'll apologise. To add, wow, this blew up. Spent my morning thinking this over, but here are some updates. First off, I am a guy. I've gotten at least 5 DMs from sleazy dudes telling me they'll treat me better and calling me weird pet names. Had one guy say, "Hey, baby girl," which just made me laugh, and all of their profiles are gross and misogynistic. Being a woman sounds exhausting. Shout out to the ladies, you guys are strong. But yeah, I'm a gay dude. Some people are worried about the $200 a month. That was 10 years ago when I was in undergrad. Sorry for the confusion. It's closer to $300, $400 now. And some months when I get my school's student food bank, I only go if they have too much, because I know there are people that actually need it. And it's like $0, $100. So I guess it's $250, $350 average. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I didn't mention this, but I did cover part of my parents' mortgage when I was working after my bachelor's. Some people made comments about me leeching off my parents. I am right now, but I did help them too. My parents are angels and they know my friends' birthdays and always tell me to take them out during those months, so they're okay with paying for my boyfriend, but I'm not. Even during undergrad, when I dated another guy I thought I wanted to one day marry, I never used their money on him. I don't use their money on anyone but myself. Does that make me selfish? Maybe. But honestly, I don't really care. Lots of people are telling me to dump him. Honestly, the spark wasn't there anymore for a while because we've been fighting over this and some other stuff for months, and a lot of people are telling me this is a respect issue more than a stupid fight like I thought. I'm going to think about how to approach this, since he's just ignoring me now. But yeah, I think letting this relationship go might be the right move. I think I already knew, but sometimes it's hard even if you know it's the right thing to do. You know? Anyway, I'm not going to check this account anymore because it was just a throwaway. Thanks, Reddit, for the help. But look, let's cut to the chase. Your boyfriend's behaviour is not about the food. It's about respect, boundaries, and frankly, common decency. You've been more than accommodating by adjusting your budget to feed an adult man who should be responsible for his own meals, especially when he's devouring food meant for your sustenance, not his indulgence. The fact that he dismisses your concerns and suggests you exploit your parents' generosity further is a glaring red flag. It's not about being frugal or the exact dollar amount spent. It's about him feeling entitled to something that isn't his, without consideration for the impact on you or your relationship with your parents. And now, with the added insight that the spark has been missing and you've been contemplating ending things, well, it sounds like this stupid fight might just be the symptom of a much larger issue. Relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, neither of which he's showing you. You're not selfish for setting boundaries around your parents' generosity. You're being responsible. And honestly, if he can't respect something as simple as not eating all your food, what does that say about his respect for you in other areas? It's time to think hard about what you're really holding on to here. All right, guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video. Or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Okay, so I've had a lot of fights with my mum over the years. I'm 17, I'll be 18 soon, and for me it's college time. I've been getting into fights with her about college since I was 14, mainly her telling me I wasn't going and me telling her I was. It was never a financial thing, but she felt I didn't have the personality to go to college. We keep having fights about this to this day. Apparently a little while ago I got into one of my dream universities. I had been dreaming about this university for years, and I got in on a scholarship, not a full ride, but I had a lot of tuition off. And with the amount I was awarded, I could have paid for college myself. Housing was free. She hid it from me. I have lost access to my email for a while, so I was relying on using her account to check for responses. But for a while she wouldn't let me check, and she just said I didn't get any responses yet. And I believed her. The other day she went to the washroom, I got into her phone and I saw the email. I yelled more than I ever had. I swore at her for the first time in my life, and I told her I'd pay for college myself. She's the worst thing that ever happened to me, and once I was gone, I would never be speaking to her again. My mum isn't talking to me anymore. My dad is travelling. My sister is in college. I can't speak to anyone, but apparently my mother spoke to her therapist and believes I inflicted trauma-creating words on her purely out of teenage angst. I don't think it was angst. I genuinely can't express the anger I feel right now. But I do want to know if I gave my mum trauma. Am I the jerk? Look, the situation is messed up. No two ways about it. Your mum's actions are beyond controlling. They're sabotaging. Hiding an acceptance letter from your dream uni? That's a huge betrayal. It's understandable you lost your temper, anyone would. But here's the thing, hurling insults and swearing might feel justified in the moment, but it doesn't solve anything. It just escalates the situation. Yes, your anger is valid, but the way you express it matters. Your mum's claim about trauma sounds like an overreaction, but remember, words can cut deep. Moving forward, focus on your independence and college plans. This is about your future. Don't let this derail you. Keep your eyes on the prize, and maybe, just maybe, find a way to communicate that doesn't burn bridges. You might one day want to cross again. Alright guys, that's it for this one, but if you just need more Reddit stories, I know you'll like this video. Or if you're not feeling that one, this one's great too. Thanks for watching and have a great day. I, 26 years old female, gave birth to my second child 2 days ago. It was a beautiful home birth, so I was never discharged from the hospital. With my first and this pregnancy, I made it clear to my husband I wanted to follow the 5-5-5 rule. He seemed to drag his feet, but because he wanted kids more than I did, he agreed. I still love my kids dearly and wouldn't not have them now. I just didn't want to go through pregnancy. First 5 days, in bed. Nothing but skin to skin with my daughter, breastfeeding and resting. Next 5 days on bed. Sitting up, still breastfeeding, cuddling with baby, doing homework with my son, crossword puzzles, etc. Next 5 days after that, around bed. Still majority resting, but doing light chores, folding laundry, diaper changing, just not standing for more than 30 minutes. All while still cuddling with baby, breastfeeding baby, doing homework with my son and colouring. This baby is very colicky, and my husband is the one having to get out of bed, walk around with her, and sit in the rocking chair, do diapers, and take her and our son on walks to get some sunshine. Our son, 5 years old, has started acting out at home due to the stress of the new baby and lack of sleep. We've offered him going to my parents next door, and he seems interested. We've prepared a month's worth of freezer meals, so for dinner all he has to do is throw the disposable tin in the oven and walk away for a few hours. We have more than enough disposable dishwasher. We have a dog he needs to feed and take out on walks with the kids. Today, he came to me crying, saying it was all too much, and he couldn't do this by himself. I reminded him that he agreed to it, and I have to go back to work shortly after the 5-5-5 is up, so I need to be as rested and healed as possible so I can better perform tasks at work, then come home and perform tasks as well. He begged me to help out with our son, who will not sit still, and help with light cleaning, wiping countertops, gathering clutter into a pile, etc. I again said, no, I am entitled to rest and I will help around the house in 8 days. To add, I'm not looking for advice on the 5-5-5 method. That's not what this post is about. Look, I get it. You're trying to recover and bond with your newborn, and that's important, but let's be real here. You're part of a team, and right now, your partner is drowning. Yes, he agreed to the 5-5-5 rule, but no one can truly anticipate how tough things can get with a colicky baby and a stressed-out older child. It's not just about sticking rigidly to a plan. It's about adapting to the needs of your family. Your husband is clearly at his limit, and this is the time for compromise and support, not sticking to your guns because he agreed to it. Life, especially with kids, is unpredictable. Flexibility isn't just nice, it's necessary. You need to find a middle ground where you can rest and support your husband. All right, guys, here is the next post.